What's up, guys? I am back and I plan on uploading a lot of videos this episode, and hopefully, unlike previous episodes, I will carry into Act 2 and Act 3 more than I have previously because the acts are shorter and more tightly connected. So hopefully I can keep the momentum going through all three acts this time around. But like usual, first video is going to be about the seasonal exotic, the Lodestar. This scene is really cool, really good, and has a trick that makes it really good. So starting off, this is a primary trace rifle, the first of its kind, and while hip firing it's a normal trace, then while ADS it's gonna be a pulse with a 3-round burst. So looking at the first perk right here, arc alignment, doing arc damage from any source aligns the battery's coils. When alignment is complete, hold reload to disengage the safety and enable hip fired starlight beam to apply jolt to any target, damage for a short time. Aim down sights to slow the rate at which the battery drains. So this thing charges the arc alignment from just damage. So in this gameplay, just versus these low tier red bars, it doesn't charge as fast as it actually will in harder content, where you're going to be doing just constant damage to majors and things like that just don't die from one bullet. And once you have it fully charged, you can go ahead and hold down reload to convert it to the alignment mode. And every single hipfire hit will jolt the target. Jolt is amazing. I love it. And as mentioned, if I'm just shooting at a boss, you see how fast it charges. It charges very quickly, but it also drains very quickly. But there is a trick. So while hip firing with the charge, it drains very quickly, only lasting 6.5 seconds. But then if we ADS while we're using the alignment, it will last a lot longer, just under 20 seconds. So this kind of results in a gameplay loop where you mainly want to stay ADS, but only hip fire to proc jolt on targets. And at first, it's kind of like a weird experience. You want to be hip firing to jolt stuff, right? But if you do that, you're going to be out of charge very quickly. So you kind of have to get used to just staying ADS, firing just to jolt, and moving around. And it kind of helps to learn when you should be popping this. You don't want to be popping it in a situation where you have to be running around. You want to do it in a situation where you can kind of stand still for 10-20 seconds and just slay out. This feeds into the secondary perk perfectly, the phase converter. While aiming down sights, the beam is compressed into short, high energy bursts that interact with targets afflicted by arc debuffs, doing increased damage and causing them to detonate into blinding explosions on final blows. So when we look at damage of the weapon, the hipfire hits for 2449, ADS 4773. Then if they're arc debuffed, it goes up to 6204. So the ADS is almost double the damage of the hipfire, and any arc debuff takes the ADS up by 30% to that 6204. And the cool thing about this weapon is it's any arc debuff, so it scales very nicely with not only the weapon itself with the alignment mode, but also with just any arc build. So, you know, jolting grenades, whatever it is. And the final part of this perk is upon hitting a kill on a arc debuff target, they'll explode in a huge radius that also blinds. It does a lot of damage. It's kind of hard to show off it blinding because of the fact that it also jolts. Just everything usually dies, but if they don't, they'll also be blind. So looking at the DPS of this weapon, seeing if it's better to hipfire or ADS. The hipfire DPS is 37,000. ADS it goes up to 44.7. Then also with the arc debuff up to 58.1 thousand. Once again, 30% more than without. And putting that into a ballpark, the ADS feels a lot like a pulse. So comparing it to one of the best pulses in the game, the 2-round burst, looking at DPS, it's going to be a lot lower at 36,000. And let's say you have a 35% debuff, let's say Chaos Reshaped, up to 48,000. So still over 10,000 less than the Lodestar. And right now we cannot get the Catalyst. Once we can, the Catalyst is, while amplified, this weapon gains greatly increased reload speed, aim assist, and movement while aiming down sights. All of which will be very nice. I think one of the worst parts of this weapon is its reload speed is kind of low for a primary. It just feels pretty long. Aim assist obviously always helps. And finally, the movement speed while ADS is probably the best because it will help the awkward feel of trying to stay ADS while using the arc alignment. But this is where the cool trick of this weapon comes into play. Once you proc arc alignment, you can hold down reload to cancel it whenever you want. So you can kind of pop it just to jolt targets, then stop it, and it will keep whatever charge remaining you have. And with how fast this thing charges up, a few hits later, you'll be ready to go again, and you kind of just toggle it on and off, and just jolt whenever you need to, turn it off when you don't. And this loop greatly helps with the trying to stay ADS all the time, and you can kind of just use it when you need it, turn it off, and keep your charge. And the best part of this loop is when you convert the arc alignment into the special mode, it reloads the weapon. So doing this loop, you can also just avoid reloading forever. And once you kind of get into this flow, I mean, it really takes away all the downsides of this weapon and just is pure upside. So definitely try this out if you weren't a fan of this weapon off the bat. Definitely helps out with the fill and the uptime of the perk. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the commentary. There will be some gameplay left from the new Nether activity. As this episode goes, I'll be uploading probably a few arc builds per character. And this is definitely a weapon you can use on all those great arc builds. It synergizes really well and scales with those arc builds. The more sources of arc debuffs, the more damage the scene will be outputting. And the quicker you'll be getting the charge back because it's any arc damage. Anyways, let me know what you think about this weapon down below. First video back, keeping it kind of shorter on the commentary. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.